Hello, new 4-H families. My name is Kathleen Bodie. I'm the 4-H educator, and I'm here with Amy Canaday with our 4-H Volunteer Welcoming Committee. Thank you, Amy, for spending some time with us this afternoon as we go over what we would have presented, but due to the weather, we've had to cancel some events. So we are here to support our new 4-H families and go over some great information that we have to share. So what is 4-H? 4-H is actually, you might have heard of Head, Heart, Hands Health. Those are all of our parts of our 4-H pledge that we have that helps to keep our head to clear thinking, our heart to greater loyalty, and our hands to larger service for my club, my community, my country, and my world. That's actually our 4-H pledge, and it is a great overview of what 4-H is. We do a lot of hands-on service, a lot of hands-on project areas, for Clear for Better Thinking, with learning new skills. We do utilize different motivations, different passions that we have. So 4-H has a lot that can really dive deeper into, and it covers all those different areas of either a passion of your heart and maybe going and having some healthier activities. We have 3 different mission areas, which are healthy living, science, and civic engagement. So those are all of our project areas. All of our programs that we do actually focus on those 3 areas. 4-H is the vision and mission of the 4-H program is actually to strive to be the premier community-based program empowering youth to reach their full potential. Our mission is to have real-life educational opportunities that develop young people who have had a positive impact on their communities and their world. So it goes right along with our 4-H pledge. You might be wondering, why am I getting these emails from Purdue? Like, is my youth now enrolled in the university? Well, that'd be pretty cool, but that's not really what's going on. Purdue Extension is connected with the university through the Land-Grant Institution. We are part of a bigger network across the nation. 4-H is in each county in the nation through the USDA. And so since Purdue University is our land-grant institution, we are connected, have a direct connect. We are about bringing local faces to countless connections. Our Purdue network also includes agricultural and natural resources, health and human sciences, economic and community development, and of course the 4-H Youth Development Program. So it is a great way that we have that link between research and boots on the ground opportunity here in the local county. So if youth have interest into a career development opportunities, we have many different opportunities that actually do take them to Purdue's campus and to learn more about what is offered up there. So what's our next steps?
Well, now that we've piqued your interest in 4-H, the next thing is to enroll. So 4-H enrollment is open from October 1st through September 30th every year. To enroll online, that starts October 1st and ends January 15th. And you would go to 4honline.com and enter all of the information necessary there. You can also enroll your student into the 4-H program in the office. The fee for the program is $25 per student. And in Hamilton County, we have a 3-student maximum. So if your student is grades 3 through 12 and you've already enrolled 3 of them, then your 4th one's basically free.
Woohoo! Yeah!
And then the mini 4-H kids are grades K through 2, and they are free to participate in any of the mini 4-H programming, but they still must be enrolled. So 4honline.com is going to be your resource for that.
You might say, you know, we really did a push for enrollment to be January 15th, and we do that as a target date because as a society, we need a deadline. And so by having that be our target date, we want to get enrollments in, get them processed, have opportunities to let people know about workshops and club meetings and trip opportunities, things like that. So, but if you have a neighbor or someone that might still be interested in 4-H, please do have them stop by the extension office, because there is still opportunity to plug them in some way in the 4-H program.
Yes, and January 15th, maybe you got sick that day. So don't worry about that deadline too much, but we strive for it. It's just a goal. All right, so then what is a 4-H club? Well, that is going to be your umbrella organization is how I explain it. It's the way that all the paperwork and the logistics funnel through to each family from, the greater organization. The community clubs are the main part of the 4-H program. They're run by the students. The students are the officers for the club. They learn parliamentary procedure, and each community club has adult volunteers that help out with that. The community clubs are terrific, actually all the clubs are terrific, because they provide connection and ways to make friends and develop relationships. The clubs do a lot of service opportunities, and they are a really fantastic way for families to learn more about 4-H. There are also project clubs, and those are clubs that are specific to a particular project. Some examples of those would be shooting sports or llama trekkers, hairy hoppers, or the dog club. So it's very targeted in what they do, and so those are project specific. Spark clubs in Hamilton County, and this is a fairly new concept that maybe not a lot of people really understand, but a Spark club is a project area that has 6 hours of instruction. And you can almost think of it like a pop-up project where it's designed to spark interest in a 4-H project. Some examples of this would be Clover Gaming and social media and the Boo Bake Off. So the club meets for just about 6 hours of instruction. They have a goal in mind. They have a project they're working on, and they meet for just that amount of time, and then they're done. So that's a great opportunity also. And those are full-on 4-H clubs. You can participate in 4-H just through a Spark club if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. A lot of times those kind of pop up during our spring break or fall break opportunities to kind of spark that interest and help them maybe then get plugged into that community club that you were just talking about. But a lot of times too, that could be just that 4-Hers experience, and that's okay. That is their 4-H experience. We will take the time to learn, to go dive deeper into a content area, either once a month as in the community clubs, or maybe a very tight time frame like an all-day day camp kind of opportunity, and that's just the different ways that 4-H has the flexibility to be involved into your life.
Also, there is the mini 4-H program, and I mentioned this already. It's a place where the kids who are kindergarten through 2nd grade can learn about the world in a non-competitive environment. So their meetings are 6:30 to 7:30. They meet 4 times a year. All these little kids, they come together. They have junior leader teams that are helping them through all of their activities for the hour, and it's a whole lot of fun. The mini kids, they can participate in any project that they want to, but then to exhibit at the fair, they're allowed 2 projects because we have limited space and a lot of kids who have a good time with that. So we can only allow them to do 2 projects for the fair, but they can do all the projects all the time if they want to. And the mini 4-H ribbon at the fair is a purple participation ribbon, because we just want them to have fun. We aren't focused so much on the competition.
Yeah, because Mini 4-H is a non-competitive program, so there is no competition between kindergarten through 2nd grade in the 4-H program statewide.
So what other projects can the kids participate in?
What is a project? Well, there are over 60 options that we have here in Hamilton County, and many of those, well actually all of those, are all listed in this handbook. And each year we get a new handbook. So either at your first club meeting that you attend, make sure you pick up one of these, or we have them here in the extension office for you to pick up about the beginning of the year. And in here are all of the project rules and the guidelines. And the great thing about here is it's everything that you need. It has our project superintendent, so a resource person that we have, because Amy and I, we don't know everything about these projects. So it is a great resource to go dive deep into the project. Contact this project superintendent if you have a specific question about that project. It also gives you the dates. Already thinking about the fair, like when do I need to bring a project to the fair? When is it going to be judged? When is it released? Things like that. So this is a great resource for you to have. And I know many families that start tabbing up their handbook and get all the details on their family calendar early on into the season. So once you have that handbook and have looked through it and thought about all the different kind of projects, and we have many different kind of projects. Like I said earlier, we have 3 different mission areas, and so we have a lot of science projects thinking about animal science, all of our beef, sheep, swine, llamas, all the way to vet science, pocket pets. If you have a cat, dog project, if you have an animal, we have a project that you can put that animal into. Or if you would like to learn about animals, we have animal poster projects as well, if you're not able to house those animals with your family. We also have healthy living projects. We actually have a health project. We have foods if you like to have a chicken barbecue, beef barbecue, all the way to microwave. That's my kind of cooking, is in the microwave. We have baking and food preservations, so all those different options. And the neat thing about those projects is that they have you think about having healthier options. What's something that you can change out of those recipes to maybe help if you have a family member that has a gluten allergy or a sugar intolerance. Those are opportunities for, at your age, to think about how do we tweak those things. Then we also have civic engagement projects where we have creative writing, maybe travel log, junior leaders where they get involved. If you are in 7th through 12th grade, you can get involved and be a junior leader and help us work behind the scenes at the county fair, work together as a unit to be a leader at your own club meetings, as well as sharpening your own skills in public speaking and demonstrations. So there's a lot of different projects that we have. And sometimes we get asked about, what are the costs of these projects? Kind of, as parents, we're trying to make stretch our family budget as best we can, and we know that some projects do have different costs. Some are more inexpensive, like a poster project where you're working on more gathering content from the internet or from project manuals and doing activities out of them, or public speaking where it's you as a demonstrator, all the way to maybe potentially being a little bit more expensive kind of project, like floriculture. If you have to go and get cut flowers, or cake decorating, all the different tips that you need to have, or raising that livestock is maybe a more expensive option. Potentially crafts and woodworking, getting those woods. So there's a very wide range of costs for projects that we have, but the great thing is that you can decide that when you get to that opportunity to actually work on the actual project that you're going to turn to the county fair. But there's a whole lot of learning, a whole lot that you can do before you get to that. We also have been mentioned a little bit about a club manual, a project manual. We here in the office have, for each of our projects, age grade specifics manuals that you can you get annually that help guide you through some activities. So those are where you get your content knowledge on. This is the computer manual. So there's hands-on learning that we put in these manuals for you to discover, learn more. This one's about learning more about Scratch programming. And then you can do the record sheet on that. So we have just a general record sheet And by doing the activities out of the manual and the record sheet, that is you, and having your leader sign off on it from your club meeting, that is completing 4-H. You do not have to take it to the next level and bring a project at the fair, but if you'd like, for an example, here is our computer project for this grade level. So here is a poster option, and it has pictures and headings, and all these kind of details would be in that handbook to let you know what specifically you need to work on. But so that's an option of a poster project that you can do, from learning in a manual, having a volunteer sign off on your project, to bringing the project at the county fair. So there are all kinds of different other things that you can do with a project. Bringing and having a demonstration at the club about your project, attending that club workshop, having that project superintendent or an older junior leader help share new skills in that, having a hands-on workshop. For example, our electric workshop has a specific workshop on each of the divisions, so that way they can practice at that project workshop. Now, when you attend these workshops, you're not going to complete your project, so it's not a one and done experience. You do your project, the majority of it, with a adult supervision at home or at a different location than at the actual 4-H event. We have, so maybe as you're thinking of these different projects that you want to do, you have all these grand ideas, like, I love 15 things. Well, we recommend you only select 1 or 2 projects this first year. You maybe 3 if you want. But you need to make those decisions by May 15th. You can add or drop projects until May 15th. And then once you have that project and you're ready to bring it to the county fair, you might be thinking, I see all different kind of colors of ribbons. What does that mean? How did we arrive at that? We actually don't have just a single first place for many of our projects. Our indoor projects are on the Danish system. So by meeting our criteria, like that's described in the handbook, you are getting to a blue group, a red group, white group, or green for participation in that project. If maybe you got selected a little bit higher for that 4-H project and you were put into the honor group, or received a division champion, or went on and got the big purple ribbon, the grand champion, kind of what we're all striving for. All of those are good, and those are all great learning opportunities. In the livestock animal projects, it's more of that first place, second place grading system. And just to let you know, to go to the Indiana State Fair in livestock, anybody that wants to participate can go on to the state fair in the livestock, as long as they have followed the different animal ID needs for that particular livestock, which is described in the handbook and many email communications from our extension office. For our indoor projects, kind of our poster projects, those are selected by the judge. We only have so many opportunities that we're allowed to allot for our county to take to the state fair. So those are awarded at the fair here in Hamilton County.
And that information is all in the handbook. So when you find a particular project, it's all in a box. Who's your project superintendent? How many projects can go to the fair, if it's a state fair entry to begin with, or if it's just a county project. So that handbook becomes really important to figure out, how to do everything about the project.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kathleen mentioned about communication and receiving lots of emails from the county, particularly if you have an animal where you need to follow particular requirements to be able to work with that animal at the fair. So email is definitely one way that the county communicates with us as families. There's also the monthly newsletter called the Clover Chatter. It's available online, and you can download it at home or look at the PDF. It has information every month about what's new with 4-H, what workshops are happening. So you want to always make sure to open up the Clover Chatter when it lands in your inbox. Also, there's social media, and There is Facebook, where we can connect with Hamilton County 4-H program on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So you can see kids in action doing things with their projects and with other people, and social media is a great way to connect. All right, so once you've got your project started and you've got your eye on the fair, what's the timeline for 4-H? How does this all come together on the calendar? Let's talk about that for a minute. So first of all is the enrollment period of October 1st through September 30th, and you'll want to try as hard as possible to register online at 4honline.com before January 15th if you can. In the meantime, there are general 4-H callouts and enrollment events. There's the Spark Club program, and when you associate with a project or a club, then you will attend those meetings monthly. So in the fall, it's kind of a little bit of a slow time for the 4-H families, while the office people are working behind the scenes to get things ready for the new 4-H year. But then once January rolls around, then we have a lot of opportunities to start getting involved. That's when our club meetings and activities are going to begin, if they haven't already, and scholarship applications will come due. Those are, obviously for the older kids, but it's important for families to know that, because scholarships are available, and we always want our kids to be able to apply for scholarships if there's an opportunity for that. Also, there will be some project workshops in this early part of the year time frame. Mini 4-H starts, the Hunter Education Program begins, and that's an important one because you have to attend all of the hours of Hunter Ed to be able to get that patch from the DNR. So that's not a program that you can come a little, skip a little. You have to attend all of the Hunter Ed. Next is March through June, and this is when things start to kind of get rolling. The trip and camp applications come due on March 1st, and Kathleen alluded to the trips a little bit ago, going up to 4-H for something like 4-H Roundup or 4-H Academy. This year, my daughter had won the Citizenship Washington focus trip, so she is really excited about getting other students involved with that. So that's coming up. That's a March 1st thing also. Anyway, lots of trips that your students can attend. And then the camps, those are geared more toward the younger students. The day camp for the mini 4-H age kids, and then Camp Shakamak for grades 3 through 6. Those camps happen in June, and the junior leaders are the staff for that, and they have a great time. So I can't say enough about the Junior Leader Program because of the leadership and service opportunities that they get there. It's a really fantastic thing for our youth.
And we'll be mailing out the camp registration for our 3rd through 12th graders, our Camp Shakamak, right before spring break. So be looking about mid-March on those. You'll receive an email as well as hard mail.
Okay, so in this time frame still, the workshops start to take place. And remember, the workshops are just an opportunity to work closely with the project superintendent to learn a little bit about the project. Maybe it's flowers or wildflowers or health or foods or whatever. So you'll find out about those workshops in the Clover Chatter, and those are optional to attend. So I would encourage you to attend the workshops anytime you can, but it's always optional. Something like dog obedience or shooting sports or robotics, those are the kind of projects that kind of build on one another. So if you want to get involved with those, it's important to remember that attendance at those workshops is really critical. Not all workshops are going to work that way, but there are a handful where that attendance is really necessary. Mini 4-H kicks off in this time frame of March through June. And then we get to June. School's out. We're getting ready for the fair. So we've got our eye on the camps and trips in June. Mini 4-H day camp happens. Camp Shakamak happens. It's a 3-day trip. Trips for the 7th through 12th graders, all kinds of places. And then lots of junior leader opportunities happen in this month. Additionally, June is the time when all of the clubs are trying to wrap up all their records. So your club will likely have some kind of a records meeting to get all of the record sheets signed off, and fair books become available. Fair book.
Fair book. What is that?
Well, the fair book is it's a smaller book. The handbook is the big one, and the fair book is the little one, and it lays out everything that's going to happen during the county 4-H fair. Everything from when and where to turn in your projects, every event that's going to happen here at the fairgrounds over that period of time, what kind of sponsors we're having come in, what kind of entertainment you might be able to find. So we consider the fair book our July Bible, because it helps us to really know, we don't want to miss an open judging opportunity, and we definitely want to make it to the Walk of Llama or maybe the Horse and Pony Show. So we keep an eye on the fair book. All right, and then July is our county fair time. So by July, our records are submitted by all of our club leaders in the office. We have fair setup this year on July 11th, which is always a lot of fun. The excitement just starts to build because, everyone's working on their projects and they've been looking forward to this event for such a long time, and the weather's great, and everyone has come together to set everything up for the fair. So it's a very exciting time. Project check-in is July 12th. You have to come to Project Check-In. But if you can't make Project Check-In, make sure that you connect with a friend or a club leader to make sure that your projects get turned in, because that would be very sad if you did all the work for your project and didn't get it turned in. Project judging happens after that. For what Kathleen referred to as the indoor projects, those judging events are going to happen on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the fair week. And then the fair opens on July 16th this year. And that's when we continue with all the livestock judging and several other open judging events. And then cleanup for the fairgrounds is on July 22nd. And that's what happens with our July, everything about the fair. If your student was selected for the state fair, then those entries will go to the state fairgrounds either by you or Kathleen in many cases. There's some projects she's not going to take, like that giant woodworking project or a delicate cake entry, but she's perfectly willing to take down several of our projects for us, for the ones that qualify for the state fair. And way back when, I never really associated that the county 4-H program is what happens at the state fair too. I just thought the state fair was all about little hands on the farm and some corn on the cob. But no, there's a whole lot of 4-H that happens there. So when I realized that, it was like a light bulb moment. And one of the biggest things that we love about the state fair is going to see our other 4-H friends from around the state and seeing everyone else's 4-H projects too. So then throughout August is the state fair. And then that wraps up our 4-H year until the new 4-H year begins again in October.
October 1, yeah. When you were mentioning about July, something we haven't mentioned is about fair entry. So when we have lots of different deadlines. We have target dates for enrollment in 4-H in general. Then if you are doing livestock, you're going to get information about maybe an ID day. We have beef ID here at the end of February. Our sheep and goat ID registration is those dates are going to be in May. And we have, if you're going to bring an animal to the county fair, you declare that by May 15th. So that way we know you're in possession of that animal all the way from May 15th till the county fair or the state fair, whichever is the last of that. And then also as a general to what you're going to bring to the county fair, we need to know that, because like I said earlier, by completing a project, by having your leaders sign off and turn into our office that, yep, they did that project, that is completion. So we have a kind of an enrollment for our county fair that, yes, I'm going to actually bring my cat to the county fair or that foods project or whatever that is. So we have a fair entry enrollment as well. So you'll be getting lots more communication pieces on that, but I just wanted to mention because that might be something different than if you had a parent that was in 4-H or getting some different guidance from past 4-Hers. We didn't have that process, but the last 5 years or so, we now do have a fair entry system, and it's getting way smoother than it has been in the past, but it helps us with getting that information of who's coming and getting our show bills put together. It's the way with technology, it's streamlining all of our information, and it is tied to your 4-H online information. So, well, thank you so much, Amy, for sitting down with us and going over what a new 4-H family might need to kind of understand what the 4-H, like what did we just do? What did we sign up for?
Right.
And we are here in the Extension office. We are here from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday at 2003 Pleasant Street. Our office is right in the front of the big main building on the fairgrounds. So please stop by if you do have any questions or that. We also have a drop-off box if you're not able to make those hours, but you know what, I need that manual that Kathleen was talking about. Please call our office and we'll be happy to put your manuals or whatever information you might need with your name on that manual, and we'll put that out in that drop box so you can pick that up after hours. And we are here to answer questions, and I know that Amy and I were looking at many different ways of how to support our new 4-H families, and so you'll be hearing from us frequently throughout the year.
And if you have any questions about anything ever, you can always contact the office. You can contact Kathleen or myself. And of course, your club leader is a perfect resource.
Thank you.